So when we recite the mantra, there's various ways to recite it. When you're with a group, often people chant it out loud, Om Tare 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 Soha, like that. Or when you say it to yourself, you usually don't use that melody when you chant it, unless like you're walking around in the break time or something like that to relax your mind and you're chanting out loud. Then you can use the melody. But if you're saying the mantra to accumulate the mantra, to say a lot of them, then you usually just say it in kind of a monotone, Om Tare 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 Soha, or Om Tare 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 Mamaya Punijana Pushta Kuru Soha, Om Tare 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 Mamaya Punijana Pushta Kuru Soha. Okay, like that. And they say that when you're doing retreat and you're accumulating the mantra, you don't say it out loud so that the person sitting next to you can hear you, even if you're doing a solitary retreat, not that loud. And you don't usually say it with your mouth completely closed either. But you say it kind of mouthing the words. They say so the sound is between the teeth and the lips. So it shouldn't go out so the other person hears it, okay? Some people move their lips in a very noisy way, so you have to be careful about that. If that's disturbing to the person next to you, then, just close your mouth and do it silently, okay? But normally you would kind of do it, not mouthing the words like in a big way, but, a small way like that. And some kind of tiny, tiny sound. Okay, and then you use your mala to count the beads. That's why you have a mala. A mala isn't for decoration. It's not to go around and show everybody you're a Buddhist. And by the way, you usually wear, if you wear your mala, you usually put it around your wrist. You don't put it around your neck like a necklace. If you go to the bathroom, then you take it off. You don't take your mala into the bathroom with you. Here at the Abbey, we don't wear our malas in any way because I think it is just much clearer that way, because I've noticed that people sometimes can get very attached to their mala, and look, I have this beautiful mala with this nice tassel and these counter beads hanging here, and I wear it around my wrist. It's almost, not quite, but actually it is, jewelry. Jewelry in the name of Dharma. And since as monastics, one of our precepts is not to wear jewelry, then we don't wear our mala. Okay, that's the same reason why we don't wear our watch here at the Abbey, because so often a watch, although it's a pragmatic thing to have, can also be a piece of jewelry, okay, that adorns the body. In any case, if you're counting mantra, then you use your mala, and you use your mala very quietly. You don't click it, click, 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 so that everybody in the hall can hear. If, there's a short mantra like Om Tare 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 Soha, it goes by very quickly. So keeping track of the number of malas, complete malas you've recited, sometimes there's counters, little strings on the mala, but sometimes what I think is easier is you have little pebbles or whatever you can find in front of you, and every mala you just move one pebble from one bowl to the next. You can also, because sometimes even that's difficult with a short mantra because it goes by so quickly, so then you might do, let's say, 3 recitations of the mantra for each bead. So then you don't have to move the beans, so frequently. When you're reciting the mantra, try and keep your mind on the visualization. Like I said, if the mantra is prominent, the visualization will be more in the background. If the visualization is prominent, the mantra will be kind of in the background. We have the ability to do that. It's like watching TV. Sometimes you watch the picture and the music is in the background, and sometimes, the music is so interesting. Like when you're listening to a symphony, you listen to the music, and the people on the instruments, is in the background in terms of your attention. So it's kind of like that. Keep your mind on what you're doing. Sometimes when you're trying to do like 100,000 of the mantra, which I've suggested that everybody on the retreat try to do at least that many, then they say if you get distracted, you start that mala over, or if you cough or you burp, you start it over. If we held to all those things, we probably would never get more than one mala done. So I usually do it like I start over if the distraction is really, really bad, But you can become more strict with yourself as time goes on, and you become more concentrated and can really stay on it more. Okay? And then at the end of your saying your mantras, then you often say the Vajrasattva Mantra as a way of purifying any incorrect ways that you have of saying the mantra. I remember when I was first receiving instruction on how to do a mantra in retreat, they say, make sure you're doing the mantra that pertains to that deity. And I thought, of course, how can anybody, get mantras mixed up? Well, over the years, I found out that you could be supposedly meditating on one deity and reciting the mantra of another deity because you are spaced out. Okay, so clearly then you have to, start that mala over. Because you're not even doing the right deity mantra. Okay, so saying the Vajrasattva Mantra at the end purifies those kind of mistakes. Or sometimes if it's a long mantra, you leave out parts of it, or you get it garbled, kind of you go, Om Tare Tutare Mamaya Punujana, and you forget Om Tare Tutare Ture Mamaya Punijana Prishtakurus. Or the end of the mantra gets left off. Om Tare Tutare Ture Mamaya Punijana Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. And the last 5 or 6 syllables or 3 or 4 syllables get condensed. So you want to make sure that you enunciate each syllable. It doesn't have to be Om Tare Tu Tare, not like that. But that you get all the syllables in and they're clear and not some kind of mumbled, where everything gets compressed. Okay. It's kind of like, some people mumble when they talk, when they say a sentence, that you get the first part of the sentence and then the last part has disappeared somehow, So you want to make sure that you get the whole thing when you're reciting the mantra. Okay.